June 20th readings. Irenaeus Against Heresies, Book 2, Preface. Reviewing the first book's work. In the previous book, I carefully exposed what Paul rightly called false knowledge, 1 Timothy 6:20. I demonstrated that the entire system invented by the followers of Valentinus, though presented in many different and often contradictory ways, is completely false and without foundation. I also traced their teachings back to their predecessors, showing that not only do they disagree with each other, but they had already long departed from the truth. I gave special attention to the teachings and practices of Marcus the magician, since he also belongs to this group. I noted how they twist scripture, misquoting it so they can force it to support their own fictional narratives. I described how they try to use numbers and the 24 letters of the Greek alphabet to construct what they claim is the truth. I also explained how they believe the entire creation was made in the image of their imagined invisible pleroma, and I laid out their views on the demiurge, the lineage of heresy from Simon to Valentinus. Furthermore, I described the teachings of Simon Magus of Samaria, the founder of their movement, and all those who came after him. I detailed the wide variety of Gnostics who have emerged from his system, showing how their teachings diverge and evolve, along with the sequence of their development. I laid out the distinct heresies each of them promoted. I also explained how all these heretics, each one tracing their roots back to Simon, have introduced destructive and irreligious doctrines into human life. I exposed their concept of redemption, how they initiate people they claim are being made perfect, and what rituals, invocations, and secret rites they employ. Above all, I demonstrated that there is only one true God, the Creator, who is not the result of any flaw or lack, and that there is nothing above him and nothing that comes after him. A new book to dismantle the system. In this present book, I'll continue the work by addressing the parts of their system that still need to be challenged. As time allows, I will dismantle their teachings point by point in an orderly way. That's why I've titled this book as both an exposure and a refutation of their system. It is necessary to lay bare their so-called combinations and unravel the false connections they claim exist, even the one they call Bythus, and to show, clearly and finally, that he never existed and does not exist now. Augustine the Confessions, Book 10, chapters 24 to 25, sections 34-36. When truth exposes, it is hated. So why does truth provoke hatred? Why is your servant, when he preaches the truth, treated like an enemy? Galatians 4:16. People claim to love happiness, yet happiness is nothing but joy in the truth. Could it be that they only want truth when it agrees with what they already love? If they love something else more, they want that thing to be the truth, even if it's not. That's why they'd rather be deceived than corrected. They hate the truth when it challenges the lies they cherish. They love truth when it shines on them, but hate it when it shines into them. They want to use truth to see everything else, but not to be seen by it. So the truth, injustice, turns on them. It exposes them even though they resist, and it hides itself from them because they don't want it. That's what becomes of the human mind. So sick, so ashamed, so full of pride. It wants everything to be visible to it, but doesn't want to be visible to truth. And the result? The mind cannot hide from truth, but truth hides from the mind. Even in this misery, though, the soul still prefers joy in truth to joy in lies. It will finally be truly happy when nothing blocks it from rejoicing fully in the one truth through whom all things are true. John 14:6. Finding God where truth is remembered. Look, Lord, at how far I've searched through my memory, looking for you, and yet I didn't find anything new there about you. I only found what I had already learned and never forgotten. From the moment I came to know you, you have remained with me. Wherever I've found truth, I've found you, because you are the truth itself. John 14:6. And since I've known you, you've lived in my memory. I find you there whenever I turn my thoughts toward you, and I take joy in remembering you. These moments are my holy joys, gifts from your mercy given in light of how poor I am without you. God dwells in the soul's memory, but where exactly in my memory do you dwell, O Lord? What sort of space have you made there for yourself? What kind of temple have you built in this mind of mine? You have honored my memory by making it a dwelling place for yourself. But where in all its vastness do you reside? When I try to remember you, I go beyond the lower parts of memory, the part even animals share, because you are not there among the images of physical things. Then I search the places where I store my thoughts and emotions, but I don't find you there either. Even when I enter the very seat of my mind, that space within memory where the mind even remembers itself, still you are not found there. That makes sense. You are not a bodily image, nor an emotional state like joy, sorrow, desire, or fear. You are not the mind itself either, because you are the Lord of the mind. All these things change, but you remain unchanged, and yet you've chosen to dwell in my memory since the day I learned to know you. So why do I keep asking where in my memory you dwell, as if memory had separate rooms and locations? You are there, I know it, because I remember you, and whenever I call you to mind, I find you. Thomas Aquinas, Summa Theologica, Part 1, Question 86, Article 1. Does our intellect know immaterial substances through the knowledge of material things? Objection. It seems we can know immaterial things, like angels or even God, just by reasoning from the material world. After all, the Apostle Paul says, "The invisible things of God are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made." Romans 1:20. So it would seem that our knowledge of spiritual things comes directly through what we know of the material world. Responsio. I answer that we do gain some knowledge of immaterial things through the material world, but that knowledge is imperfect and indirect. Here's why. The human intellect, in its natural state, begins with sensory experience. All our knowledge starts from what we can see, touch, hear, or imagine. From there, the intellect abstracts universal concepts, but always by starting with the corporeal. Now we can reason from what we know about material things to certain truths about immaterial realities. For example, we may understand that something must be behind the order of nature, something intelligent and unchanging, and so we reason toward the existence of God or angels. But this knowledge is incomplete. We know that they exist and something about what they are, but not their essence or full nature. It's like knowing the presence of a cause by its effect, or seeing the shadow of something and guessing at its shape. We're dealing with realities that are beyond the range of our senses, so while we can approach them, we can't fully grasp them just through material observation. To know immaterial substances fully, we would need a mode of knowledge that is proportionate to their nature, something only given either by direct intellectual vision, as angels possess, or by grace in the beatific vision of God. Quick summa. The human intellect can know immaterial things by reasoning from material things, but only in a limited and imperfect way. William and the Wind. One autumn morning, William stood on a ridge overlooking the valley. The trees below were turning gold, and a steady wind tugged at his coat. He could feel it, hear it moving through the branches, see the leaves twisting and rising in the air, but he couldn't see the wind itself. Still, he knew it was there. He pulled out his notebook and wrote, "We know the invisible by what it moves." That wind, though unseen, revealed itself by its effects, swaying trees, swirling dust, cool air brushing his skin. It was undeniable, and he thought, so it is with the soul, with angels, with God. We can't see them directly, not with our eyes or even with our imagination, but we see their work, their traces in the world, their influence on things visible. William closed his notebook and smiled. Aquinas would say, we know the immaterial through the material, but not clearly, not completely. We see only the wind in the leaves.